carnality is what? The God number one enemy. Why? Because it denies the authority of God within space. The first thing we must understand is that carnality subscribes to a different law and not the law of God. So anything that subscribes not to the law of God, then that thing becomes the enemy of God because it doesn't recognize the authority of God. And if you don't recognize the authority of God, it means that now you are subjected to a different conversation. Oh. Now, if there's no submission to the law of God, then there's submission to a different law. And that which you submit to as a law, that is what begins to control you. Anything you follow, that means that thing is as above you, it controls you. So if that which is of carnal mind can never submit to the law of God, means that God cannot control that thing. I get that. And you must know, do you know why it has the freedom to choose which law to pursue? Okay, listen, it says what? Because the carnal what? Carnal mind, that is the will. So even that realm, there's a will. So it is the will that makes the decision. So, because the carnal mind is the will of carnality, that will has not yet submitted to the law of God. Because God cannot force you to pursue Him by force. So you have to make that decision. It's a will. It's a will. So for that reason, the Bible has to be so clear that what we are having a conversation on now is the mind aspect. It is will, the will. There's a solical nature of carnality, and it's so carnal. So it never submits to God because it doesn't permit itself to submit. It cannot agree to it. I get that. So it becomes the enemy of God because why? It doesn't submit to God. And anything that is not of God is an enemy of God. Look at that day. That these disciples come to Jesus and tell them, see, we met some men who are casting out devils in your name, and we stopped them. But Jesus told them that anybody who is not against us is for us. Now, these men were not part of the Jesus cycle. They just men somewhere who never sat under Jesus, but they just saw it. And they saw how the power was working. Oh, so even at that time, the name Jesus was still casting out devils. Yet the man was still alive on earth. Oh, so now that time was functioning. The moment he died and resurrected, then therefore that equaled that name to be exalted. Because it defeated death and reigned in life. So there's a will that every man has, and that man can decide to flow in the very nature of carnality or flow in the very nature of spirituality. And you must choose today. So is the enemy against God. Jesus is about to go to heaven, and a conversation breaks up. Can you go to John 14?